Welcome to Cohesive Friendship Unit. My name is Chris. I'm here with Jake
Hey guys.
and Brian.
What's going on?
Guys, Nintendo gifted us with some pre-E3 E3 directs. We got a 15-minute Pokemon direct, and we're going to talk all about it. We're going to talk about the new features they showed, what we think of the game so far, if we're excited for the game, all that jazz. But real quick, we are like less than 10 subs away from 500 subs. So that would be awesome if you guys could help us hit that 500. Throwing us a sub would be awesome. If you like the video, throw us a like, please. And let us know down below what you guys are thinking of Pokemon Sword and Shield so far, because there's definitely some changes. I know Brian is a little skeptical on some of them. I'm more optimistic, but we're going to jump right in. So just right off the, just high level, like how are we feeling about this so far? How was that 15 minutes? Then we can dive into the nitty gritty as we get to it.
Looks alright. I mean, it's a Pokemon game. That's what it is.
I'm excited for a lot of the changes that they made.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I like, Jake, you were kind of hinted at, like, the changes that they made. I was advocating for a lot of them. And a lot of people were kind of, like, you guys didn't want random encounters to go away, and it seems like there's kind of a happy compromise where they're away and not away.
Yeah, they struck a good balance with the random encounters. But
yeah,
we can cover those later.
Yeah, we'll get into that. And same with camera control. I was like, I want free camera control. And in previous videos, there were mixed bags on that. And there were some new things like raids, which seem really cool. My only real biggest gripe is the game doesn't look as good as I think it realistically could look. But yeah.
Yes.
So do we want to jump into like a thing?
Let's start with the random encounters. 'Cause I think me and Brian were both very adamant about not getting rid of the full random encounters that we've had forever and ever. But there was the good point that I think pretty much everyone makes, that once you get to a high level, it's very, very annoying to, try to walk 10 paces and then you get hit by a random encounter. So from what the video showed, it looks like that you have Pokemon in the world that you can see, much like in Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. And you also have areas, the grassy areas, that are traditionally random encounter areas scattered about the wilds, is what they called it. So I like that. I like the way they approached it. Like you said, it was a good compromise between the two.
Yeah, I agree. And not only for like people wanting something new and people wanting things to stay traditional, but like a lot of people did play the Let's Go games, or even Pokemon Go, where you see Pokemon in the real world, but a lot of people play the Let's Go games and are comfortable with that.
Yeah, compromise might not even be the right word, because I think this is the best of both worlds, honestly. I really like the solution they came up with, and I don't know. I don't have any complaints with it, especially since we have the full camera control.
Ooh, yeah. Before we do the camera control, because that's a big deal for me. How do you feel, Brian, about the random thing?
I did not like it when I read about it, but I'm okay with it. Like, I think that you lose something in not the grinding aspect of it. Like, if you wanted to really train your Pokemon or do that shit that you guys used to do, like that was kind of part of it, but I get that a lot of people didn't like it, and I remember finding it annoying, so I can see how adding them visible in the world kind of improves that. And it's not like it does add something to the game world itself too, that I think is a nice touch.
I love seeing them in the world. That's like huge for me, and that's part of the reason I like Detective Pikachu so much, the movie, is because there were like I'm guessing 100 Pokemon in that movie that they like rendered and animated and showed. So yeah, it's big for me.
Yeah, it's cool that they have, not only can you like encounter them in the wilds, but they also are integrating them into the game world, the towns and that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like part of the game environment, and it just makes it a little bit more immersive, which I think is good.
So let's shift over to that camera angle that Jake brought up. This was another thing that I personally really wanted, so I'm super happy. Even if it's only for part of the game, For me, it just says two things. One, it says Nintendo's this whole thing in general, this whole direct was Game Freak is not necessarily afraid to like push this series forward, because a lot of people were saying Pokemon's kind of like still in the in the 90s or the aughts, but this shows that they're not afraid, and it shows that maybe the next game will be entirely free camera controls.
Yeah, and I think the free camera controls is something that there's no reason that should not have been in earlier games.
Except there were not dual sticks.
Right, but it's just such a basic quality of life thing. But beyond the past, I think adding this in makes the game feel a lot more like a RPG, like a traditional one you would think of. Like, it reminds me kind of Zelda, the game world with the Pokemons that you can see, and I would say a sparsely populated world, but one that has things that you want to go explore and find. So the Pokemon that you can see and go seek out yourself is kind of the hidden gems that you would go and seek out in Zelda. So I like that they're bringing in that camera, and I think it brings it closer to a traditional RPG.
Yeah, I mean, it does look very Zelda, especially with that kind of cel-shaded aspect to it, which that can go really wrong, but I didn't mind it here. I think they did a good job with that, with the 3D. Like, it didn't look too, like, you can tell it's a Pokemon game, but it didn't look bad, and
yeah.
I thought it was cohesive with the rest of the art style.
Good drop.
Good drop. Well, I do want to talk about the visuals, because that was, for me, if there was a disappointment, that was realistically the biggest disappointment. I thought, well, for one, I mean, it's pretty clear that they're using kind of the same framework that they used on their handhelds, and they just moved it to the Nintendo Switch, which is fine. And the game does look, I think it's gonna look better in person, because I think in the trailers they're like zooming in on a lot of stuff, and like when they zoom in really down deep on like the grass in the trailer, which I don't think is like representative of gameplay, it's like, wow, this looks like garbage. This looks awful. But then when you see like what looks like a normal kind of flow, it looks pretty okay, except for the not like the main characters, but like all the side characters look like they're just animated so poorly. Like, they look terrible to me, like really, really bad.
Yeah, they look good when they're standing still, but not when they're moving.
Like, and again, like, I know that there's still 6 months left or whatever, but like there were like what were presumably like cutscene pieces where like I saw one kid do the same thing like 7 times in a row, like the same weird twitch. It was just weird to me. That was my biggest complaint, which, again, the things that look important, like the battling and the Pokemon, those look fine.
Yeah, the battling looks really good.
Yeah,
I like the animations.
moves. Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, I'd rather them spend time on Pokemon animations, and there's like 800 of them to animate, than like people.
Right. I mean, the stuff that looks good is probably the important stuff, like the Pokemon, the attack animations, that kind of stuff. But it's... Because I think, so we compared it a lot to Zelda. I think Zelda did a much better job with the cell shading. And it looked a lot better than this game. Granted, I don't really go to Pokemon for like the highest fidelity of graphics or anything, but I would agree, Chris, that it's like they could have done a little bit of a better job considering, how big Pokemon is for Nintendo.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's a market improvement from the DS. I just remember when the first 3DS Pokemon games came out, like the ones that got Jeremy and myself like back into Pokemon a little bit. Those games like blew our socks up. But those are the first games that like ditched sprites entirely and went all 3D. And this just seems like kind of a half step from that. But what about some of the kind of new... So the only other new feature that I think we didn't hit on, or two features, I guess, is one, the dynamaxing, and two, the rating. And so I don't know if we have any comments about that.
Let's start with the raids, because
I'm cool with the raids. The raids are cool.
I like the raids, so I mean, I am a huge fan of the way Destiny did their global events, and the raids in Pokemon are pretty much the same thing. So I like them, and I hope that they expand on them more. From what they said, it's pretty much you just fight a supercharged or dynamaxed Pokemon, and that's about it. I hope there's like more intense kind of raid quality ones.
Well, they come from it. It seems like they kind of come from Pokemon Go too. Like there's raids in that. And
Yeah, but they're not like
well, yeah, they're not like real
sanctioned
battles.
by the game. They're like a group of people kind of going and raiding something. It's not like organized by the game.
No, it is.
Sanctioned isn't there.
They have you basically go to a spot with up to 20 people and you fight a powerful Pokemon. Like it's called a raid.
Yeah. So I think the hard part with raids is it has to be worthwhile, and if you're just fighting one Pokemon and you just need like 4 friends, and it's not something that you like block out some time and you're like, let's go raid this specific thing tonight, people are going to lose interest pretty quickly. So that's what I'm saying. I hope they add more to it. Maybe like a lineup. I mean, you traditionally have 6 Pokemon. Maybe it's 6 supercharged Pokemon or something like that. I hope there's more to it down the line.
Yeah. What about Dynamaxing in general? So Jake looked up a couple. The word Dynamax is not unique to Pokemon, as it turns out.
Not at all.
There's supplements, there's medicine balls, there's fitness gyms, there's agriculture.
RVs.
Yeah. So this word's out there. I mean,
They're gonna get in trouble for that.
for me, it's
The
like
RV people are gonna sue.
oh
them.
yeah, there's RVs. That's right.
Yeah.
For me, it's like at this point I've kind of accepted that every gen there's gonna be a gimmick, and it seems like they are not stacking gimmicks, so I'm okay with that. Like you don't have your Mega Evolution and your Super Move and your Dynamax. It seems like they're really just honing in on one thing this game.
Yeah, I think we can agree. Dumbest name you could have ever picked, but conceptually, I mean, it's a gimmick, and I guess we'll see how it is. I'm pretty neutral on gimmicks.
Yeah, I'm not.
You know?
I'm not. A,
Like if you gotta have them, you gotta have them.
Right, like if you're gonna put it in, sure, and I understand it keeps it interesting. I'm not someone that has played every single Pokemon game. I haven't played since like the Game Boy Advance.
right on.
So I don't need the gimmick, but I know you need it to keep some of the more dedicated players in. So I'm whatever on it.
I just hope they don't make it the whole game. Like, put something else in there that's not just revolving around the gimmick.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
That was one of the things that I hated about Pokemon Coliseum is that you had to like steal, like the whole point
Yeah,
of the
that was
game was
rough.
like you had to steal other people's Pokemon, and it's just like you either like it or you don't, and it's very polarizing if you put too many eggs in that one basket. So I would hope that, and I expect that there's more to it than just the gimmick.
So my experience, so there's one thing I don't like about the gimmick in general, and one thing that I kind of like about it. The thing I don't like about this gimmick in particular is, at least with Mega Evolutions in Gen 6, I like only did them when I absolutely needed to, because the animation to do it took so damn long, like to actually make them like Mega Evolve or whatever. And you could do that once per battle. This, they said you could do it once per battle too, so it's going to be, and we already saw, it shows one of the things happening. If we have to watch them grow, and then the opposite trainers grow, it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
It just slows things down, which is whatever. But the thing I do like about it is, unlike Mega Evolutions, where you could tell the Pokemon Company had to put in like a lot of work, they had to make new Pokemon, and only certain Pokemon could do it, and they had to be holding a certain item, and all this, that, and the other thing. Like, it was a big thing. And you only got to it in like the mid to late game. This looks like it's super easy for them to implement, because you just make the Pokemon big, so it can apply to every Pokemon. It's easy for them to do, so they can focus on other things, or new Pokemon in general. And it makes more sense, and it seems like they're doing it in the early game because there was like the first evolution of the starter was doing it. So, and the grass gym, he seems like a chump.
I think every gym does it.
I think it's going to be like early game that you're going to be doing it up, which is, I like that.
Yeah, the only thing that, as you mentioned, since all they're really doing is scaling up the characters, you can do it for everyone. I think the downside is it is very clearly just them zooming in on a character model, and you can tell. That's
kind of it red.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that makes all the difference. But yeah, it's just like...
It took years of work to make them red.
As we said, the graphics are not as top-notch as we would have hoped. And once you zoom in on a character and make them super big, it's even more noticeable. So that's my only gripe with it.
Yeah, and I had some worries about the frame rate, only because the 3DS Pokemon games have horrible frame rates once you start throwing effects in, and like the second I saw like 4 trainers with 4 little Pokemon with 1 raid, big guy, I was like, oh shit, this is gonna tank the frame rate, but hopefully it doesn't.
Yeah.
All right, what do we think about those dogs?
The legendaries.
Lack of imagination, lack of effort. I give it a D. For dog.
D for dog.
Because they're dogs in the sense, the bad sense of the word. Like, come on, a wolf with a sword in its mouth. That's not a Pokemon. That's something out of like a children's book. Like, you could think of something better than that. Britain has better than that to offer. Like, the symbol of the fucking country of Wales is a dragon. You couldn't do anything with that? You had to pick a wolf with a sword in its mouth? Like, never mind how does the wolf eat and all of the other, like, logistical complications with that. Like, it's not a Pokemon. It's a wolf with a sword in it. The other one is just a wolf with a shield collar. Like, man, that's nothing new either.
It's like a lion wolf.
Come on, guys. You can do better than that. You can do better than that, and you have done better than that. So, I don't like it.
I agree. It was a disappointing choice, especially since Sword and Shield, I mean, England and Swords and Shields, I think immediately puts everyone in the state of mind of medieval anything, and there are so many things you could have picked. I mean, griffins, dragons, any of those medieval mythical creatures would have been perfect legendaries. So I don't know why they decided a generic Dark Souls wolf carrying a sword in its mouth.
That's where it's from. I was thinking, where is that from? Oh my god.
And
okay,
a shield dog. I don't know. It's just, I'm surprised.
Damn, that was like, I was like, I have seen this, and I have seen this exact thing, and I don't know where. I thought it was like maybe Zelda Twilight Princess or something. I don't know. And I mean, it's whatever. Like, I don't really care about. I think there have been uglier legendaries, and I don't really care at the end of the day. I just wish to me it would have made more sense if the shield one just had a shield on his back. If the sword one has a sword in his mouth, like I don't know, whatever. But I don't. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
So,
all right.
Can I just bring up, while I am griping, can I bring up a minor gripe?
Gripe.
So I realize that this is like an early trailer, and it's not necessarily 100% what we're going to see when the game goes to market. But I think that the storyline is like, it just seems too happy. Everybody's like smiling, and it's like, well, but part of what made the old Pokemon games fun was it was like, oh yeah, I'm saving the world from Team Rocket or whoever. Like, it made it grander. And just fighting people in stadiums is you're playing sports.
I think something will crop up, because this is early. I think something
usually will crop up. I feel like it would have showed up earlier. Like, there would have been some like hint or sprinkling of like, this is the big adversarial power that you'll face in this game, because it's been in most of them.
I think a combination of the the trailer with the legendaries because they like looked up or whatever. I think that was like, oh, there's more to this. I think that and the dynamaxing, because that shit ain't normal. That ain't right. If your Pokemon dynamaxes for more than 4 hours, call your fucking doctor. I think that was kind of hinting at like something's not right. Whatever.
And they did say that the legendaries are going to play some larger role in the grand story, so I think there will be something there. But I agree. There's a lack of. You're not. It's not an adversary. You know. It's very much like this game is all about fighting Pokemon, which admittedly that's really what Pokemon is about. So.
Yeah. Well,
But we don't we don't really know enough to
Yeah.
say either way for sure.
Yeah. All right. Do we have any other thoughts we want to throw out? At the end, I do want to ask like how we're feeling for the game as a whole. But do we have anything else?
I'm good.
No.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So then, like, having had this direct, and I know that E3 is in like a week, so it's hard to gauge things. But are you guys excited for this game? Jake has a Switch. Brian does not. I also have a Switch. Are you excited for this game? Is this like something you would be interested in? How are you feeling?
I will definitely get this game. I am excited.
All right. Good. Cool. Brian?
Well, I'm not buying a Switch for it, but I don't think I could say that about any game. I don't know. It looks solid. Like, it looks like they put some thought and effort into it, and this is still a very early vision of that, or a preview of that. So, if what we see is guaranteed to be better than the stuff, with the graphics that you guys were talking about, I think people will like it. And I can see, if I had to give it a grade, I'd give it, based on this, like a B+.
Nice.
But for a first draft, a B+ ain't bad.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, I mean, I just for Switch games this year, this is definitely number one for me, I would say, unless we'll see if Fire Emblem like redeems itself for me. But this is probably number one, if not like number two. And I mean, with the exception of Death Stranding, this is really, top like 3 games for me. So I like what I see.
Me too, and it's coming out relatively soon, which is nice.
6 months.
Yeah,
November 15th. But all right, I think we're good, guys. Brian, do you want to wrap the video?
Well, if you're kind of disappointed like me and secretly hoping that we will see the true adversary, Mrs. Thatcher, in her Mega Dynamax form in the next video, go ahead and hammer your thoughts on that down in the word box there. And like Chris said, we always love the subs, and we love the likes to let us know what you guys like and don't like. So go ahead and click that like button if you like this video. And if you watch this far, you probably like what we got here. So if you want more of what we got, go ahead and click that sub button, and you'll find tons more content like this on the Cohesive Friendship Unit channel, or spot, if you will. And smoke them if you got them, guys. That's all for me tonight, Chris.
All right. Thank you, Brian. Catch you guys next time.